And character teaching is implementing true natural Montessori teaching and this technology in the context of enormous poverty. In a condition like in Nigeria or India or Pakistan, extremely poor conditions,
Yes.
to train lots of teachers to go into the street to conduct an informal type of Montessori teaching just for brief periods of time. I've already experimentally worked this out in Mexico for myself. So I'm very excited about this opportunity to reach large numbers of people. The reason I call it character teaching is because it gets to the core problem of what is poverty. Poverty of a massive scale is not a lack of money. It's not a lack of money. It's a lack of character. It's the way poor children are trained and conditioned to think that they can't achieve anything, that they have to lie and cheat and steal to accomplish things. Those conditions come from the environment. And in the character teaching project that I envision, we're going to give young children, particularly who are abandoned and neglected and abused and orphaned and begging in the street. We're going to go to those children. If they have parents, we're going to gather them in schools. They won't have to pay tuition, but obviously we'll need a grant for this. But we need committed people, committed to this vision in places like Nigeria and Pakistan and India. And we do. We're gathering. One of the people who attended the workshop here in Malaysia came all the way from Nigeria. She's on our board in Nigeria, and she inspires me, just like people in Pakistan and India. They inspire me. These few individuals that stand out beyond the culture. They're not compelled to act just because the culture around them says, you know, you can't be honest, you can't be completely pure and consistent with laws of nature. These people with enormous faith have invested their lives, their time, their energy on a voluntary basis to participate in this possibility of bringing the new education to overcome poverty in the only way that ultimately is going to work, not by giving money to poor people, but by changing the psychological conditions within which these poor children are functioning to allow their true nature to emerge.
And I'm sure that some people in Malaysia would be interested, because we do have a little bit of poor people around.
Well,
and this is one of the challenges of the Malaysian government, I hear.
Well, I'm happy that in Malaysia I've had a chance to talk to some pretty prominent people. We've had people attend a workshop, for example, from the Ministry of Education. I had a wonderful talk with a representative from someone in the Prime Minister's office while I was here. And a lot of what I was hearing was they're interested in the same thing about freeing the child's true nature. And that's very inspiring to hear from government leaders. It's a hope that opportunities to break through the conditions that are conventional around children can emerge in Malaysia. But Malaysia, relatively speaking, is a rich country. You know, it's not in comparison to countries where they are so disorganized and so unstable that there is no effective welfare system. The children are simply abandoned and neglected. It's just it's an outrage. To be able to do something about that, people get so discouraged with looking at these conditions and ignoring them. And sometimes they're so close to where people live, but they just turn away from them. And we have to face them if we're going to overcome the problems that we all share in common in a world which is divided in so many different ways. We have to face these problems. We have to look at them. We have to engage them. Unfortunately, there is a way to do that with people with courage who follow laws of nature and the technology to do that, to be able to train people. It's a very exciting proposition, because I think once we get that started somewhere, and it works beautifully with poor children, because that's the way it all began. In 1907, it began with poor children, illiterate parents, unskilled teachers, in a very humble situation. That is precisely the conditions that are ideal for bringing about this true natural being, because there are no expectations.